work in progress. But yeah, main point of the video, trying to make the Timberwolves better. Right now, you can kind of see we got Pat Bev at the one, Malik at the two, we got Ant at the three. We traded for Julius Randle, D'Lo for Julius Randle. I think that's gonna help us a lot, just in terms of what Julius Randle brings to a team. Being a first option isn't really him. Being a first option, I feel like he got overwhelmed and he couldn't really handle that. But if you put a former first option, if you put him in a third option situation where he doesn't really have to be that guy, he can almost just play freely. I think he'd excel in that role. So what we did was we went and traded for Julius Randle, got him on the team. We're gonna make him the third option behind Anthony Edwards and Karl Anthony Towns, and we're gonna let him do his thing. Um, Not sure if y'all remember, but when he was with the Pelicans, when he was playing with Anthony Davis, he did a really good job. It's a reason why he got a $20 million contract with the Knicks in the first place that summer in free agency. He's a really good player. I think this past season, him not performing up to par, Knicks fans being, kind of boisterous, if you will, like letting them be knowing how they felt about him and whatnot, kind of got under his skin. You can kind of see him going back and forth with his own fan base, and kind of got toxic at the end. Now they're trying to get rid of him, and at this point it seems like they're trying to get rid of him for next to nothing. Um, I think if you ask Knicks fans, like, hey, like, you trying to get rid of Julius Randle, and if you offered them D'Angelo Russell, I think they'll take it sight unseen. I think it's simple swap. You feel me? I don't know if the money works out like that. I don't know if it could be done like that, but if you swap D'Angelo Russell for Julius Randle, here's what I think is gonna happen. I think the Timberwolves are gonna get better, right? And I also think the Knicks are gonna get better in terms of style of play is gonna change. RJ Barrett is gonna be solidified as the man of that team, the first option or whatnot. But I think D'Lo is what the Knicks need. I think Julius Randle is exactly what the Timberwolves need. Julius Randle, the player, right? All the shenanigans and all the stuff that happens off the court. You can leave that in New York. You feel me? Don't bring that with you. But in terms of what he brings as a basketball player, I think that's exactly what we're missing, right? So I traded for Julius Randle. Um, Now, if we're looking at the starting five, I think the shooting guard, small forward, power forward, and the center spot, I think we got a really good team. Now what we got to do is we got to trade for a decent point guard, or we got to look if one's out there. Yeah, nobody's out there. Okay, cool. So we got to trade for a point guard. What should we trade for? Okay, and we really don't have a lot of money because we basically, swapped D'Angelo Russell's $30 million contract with Julius Randle's equally as big contract. So yeah, so we gotta get someone that isn't really making a lot. I don't know if that's possible, but we'll look though. You feel me? I'm a big fan of Herb. Oh, you know who I'm a big fan of? Trey Murphy. Are they willing to give us Murphy? Okay, yeah, I'll do this. Jaden McDaniels, no. Base Diops. They want our point guards. I'll do this. I'll do it. I was a big fan of Trey Murphy in the draft process. A lot of people like, oh yeah, ha ha ha, that's hindsight, or you saying that after the fact. Nah, I was really a big fan of Trey Murphy. Shooting the ball, can play defense, 6'7", 3 and D wings are like, people that run the league nowadays. You can't really have enough of them. So who I brought on the team was I'm kind of explain my acquisitions and the players I brought in and what purpose they're gonna serve, right? So I kind of explained the Julius Randle one already. Anthony Edwards, Karl Anthony Towns are superstars. Got Patrick Beverly making 14 mil. That's a little steep. I'm not gonna lie, but he kind of showed why he deserved it in the playoffs. So we might keep him around. Vanderbilt making 4 mil. That's not really a lot, you know, if you really look at it and what he brings to the table. I think that's a steal of a contract, so we're gonna keep Vanderbilt. Cam Reddish, I think Cam Reddish is a free agent. Get him on the team, young player, high upside. If he doesn't pan out, oh well, we didn't draft him. You know what I'm saying? But I think if we can develop him right, Coach Finch and their staff, we seen what happened with Anthony Edwards, under Ryan Saunders, kind of just chucking shots and whatnot, and as soon as Coach Finch came in, it was structure. Hey, this is how we're gonna do it. Hey, this is what I want you to do. Kind of gave him some, stability to take that next step as a player. Right now, Cam Reddish is not even getting any minutes with the Knicks. I think they came to an agreement he was gonna sit out the rest of the season or something like that. Yeah. So I think if we can get him for dirt cheap, and hopefully, yeah, because somebody's gonna get a very talented player for not a lot of money. Why not us? You feel me? Why not us? Rashawn Holmes. I think in the playoffs this season, it was exposed how bad we need a backup center. Coach Finch said it on multiple occasions. If you listen to a couple of interviews, yeah, he said we need more size down there at the five. We need more size. We need more size, right? That's kind of been like the main thing. Everybody's kind of known they have to get better at the backup position. I think this is one of the best backup centers in the NBA, Rashawn Holmes, right? I think he's very underrated in what he brings. If he can even bring 8 rebounds, I think that's good enough. 1.6 blocks. Yeah, I seen a report, not really painting Rashawn Holmes in the best of light. Uh, had to do something with, a domestic situation, or whatever the case may be. I don't really want to speak on it or whatever the case, but hopefully all that isn't true, and that's taken care of or whatever the case may be, and it doesn't hinder his ability to play in the NBA or whatnot. But if it comes out that that's not true, I would really like to see them pursue Rashawn Holmes. If not Rashawn Holmes, go for Mitchell Robinson. Athletic shot blocking, catch lobs, block shots, pick and roll, set screens, defensive presence. That's what we need playing alongside Karl Anthony Towns, and I think that's what we get in Rashawn Holmes, right? Malik Beasley. So half the season, Timberwolves fans were kind of bashing Malik Beasley, not bashing, but like kind of on him, like, hey, yeah, he trade him. He's not doing good. He's not what he was advertised to be. This elite 3-point shooter. He's not shooting that great. Let's get rid of him. Second half of the season, he's really stepped up. He's shown his worth. One of the best players beyond the arc this season. I think he deserves that $15 million contract. I think you can't get enough good players like this on your team. Being Malik Beasley, if you have players like this that can really step up at any time and just flip the switch and take your team to the next level, I think that's great to have. I don't really mind paying Malik Beasley 15 mil. I think it's well worth it, right? Jaden McDaniels, we know about him. He needs to take a next step this year, this upcoming season. Like, yeah, it's only so long you can say like, oh, he's a young player. He's showing flashes. I think he had one of his best games of his career in the playoffs, so that's very promising, right? This next season is going to be like very important for him to just kind of like, hey, I've taken that next step. Yeah, I can get even more better. It's only so much time for players that you can say, okay, we're waiting, right? And he's shown us that he's getting better and better and better. What I'm saying is, are you forever going to be a bench type of player, a depth piece, or are you going to be like an actual starter, right? An impact player. You know what I'm saying? Kid base Diops, I just kind of got him in a trade. Yeah, I don't really want to get too deep into that one. Struce, Murphy, I think him and Cam Reddish can be really important for us if we end up pursuing both of them. I know it's unrealistic for Murphy. I just kind of got him because that's who I was kind of, telling, like, I was kind of saying like, hey, let's get Murphy around the draft time. It didn't happen. We didn't have a pick. We traded for Kaminga. Warriors got Kaminga for the Wiggins in the Wiggins and D'Lo trade, but I was a big Murphy fan. I still am. Why not get him on the team? You know. And yeah, that's basically the team. So if we look at it from a standpoint of just looking at the roster, we have no point guards. That's really our weakness right now. No true point guards, right? Then we have Pat Bev. Pat Bev's a point guard, but do you really want Pat Bev starting? I mean, it's to be determined. We got Anthony Edwards can also play the one for us. We can play Ant at the one. We can play Malik at the two. You know, we can play Vandal at the three, Julius at the four, and a Cat at the five. But shooting spacing is going to be horrible. I think we need someone who can shoot at the three. I hope Cam Reddish steps up. Trey Murphy, I hope he can step up. We're gonna make him a five. We're gonna make him a three, right? So we're gonna actually we can just play McDaniels at the three. I'm tripping. We can just play McDaniels at the three, right? Okay. So you know what we're gonna do? Matter of fact, now that I mention it, we're just gonna do this, bro. Yeah, we're gonna do this and take Pat Bev, and then we're gonna put McDaniels in there. So we have Anthony Edwards as our point guard. Not really a point guard. He's gonna be like a Luka Doncic. Just kind of like a primary ball handler. Not really a point guard. More so a shooting guard, but dominates the ball. So why not just throw him at the point guard, right? Then we have Malik Beasley. Okay, really good option at the two. We have Jaden McDaniels. I hope he can develop. Like I said, excuse me, I'm about to burp real quick. You feel me? My fault, y'all. But yeah, I hope he can take that next step. You feel me? Hope he can take that next step. And yeah, he kind of has to earn that starting spot. It can't really just be given. Kind of has to knock down the three ball consistent. He did an amazing job guarding Paul George in that one playing game. He's shown really big potential. Got to keep building on that though. Um, Cam Reddish. Then we got Vando, Pat Bev, and then we got Rashawn Holmes. I think this team got the makings to be better than the team we seen in the playoffs. You know, yeah. To be honest, yeah. And of course, this team is really dependent on their stars, right? This team is really dependent on Anthony Edwards and Karl Anthony Towns. If you look at the rest of the roster around them, scoring isn't really, that high or that crazy. Malik gives you good scoring potential. Um, Jaden gives you good scoring potential. You get good scoring potential from, Julius Randle. Cam Reddish give you some here and there. Vanderbilt's not gonna give you nothing. Um, you can get solid 10 from Pat Bev and like 10 from Rashawn Holmes. I think this is a good roster. You know, um, that's just my opinion. I'm not a GM, but in terms of moves I like to see the Timberwolves make, yeah, this would be up there. This would be up there for sure.